We have breaking news.
Okay.
And it's awful.
Oh, no.
You might want to sit down for this.
I'm sitting down.
There was a national anthem we discussed recently
Oh, yeah.
that we both agreed was electric.
Oh, no.
James Earl Jones has passed away.
Yelling at pigeons. Nobody listens. Screaming my vision. Yelling at pigeons.
Should we do a formal intro, or is this the loosey-goosey cool guy episode?
I guess we can
The
just...
chill, no notes, cool Luke, cool Caleb episode. We
Uh,
don't even need formal intros.
yeah, I do have a couple of notes, so I guess I'm not... I'm less cool.
Now, welcome to the first installment of Yelling at Sports. If you just clicked on this because you saw it and you don't really understand what's going on, we are attempting to talk less sports on the main show, but we're addicted. We're addicted to sports, so we're still going to talk some
There
ball.
were so many times in the last
We're just going to do it separate.
episode we just recorded where I just wanted to start talking about sports.
So many times. And I liked what we were talking about. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but
My brain
I
is
was
just
oh, I
consumed.
could tie this to a sports thing. Oh, I could tie this to a sports
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to see what people like, what people want to hear from us. So yeah, if you hate it, sorry. Let us know. If you like it, let us know. We're just gonna
Love
turn
me or hate me, you watched. First sports quote of Yelling at Sports.
Yeah. So
Shout out to, what's his name?
yeah, do we want to
The
start
bowler.
with some? I don't know what we want to do. Want to start NFL right away? Do we want to hop into some? Oh, my voice was starting to go there for a second.
Man, I should have prepared, and we could have, we would have been copying a little bit, but we could have spun the pigeons and let them tell us which one. They have
Yeah.
pigeons on there.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
But
we will be using that at some point then.
For sure. Well, I guess we can do it in order of when it happened. So run a little college real quick, which probably won't be as in-depth as NFL anyway. But Ohio State, I almost, just now when I was putting a jersey on for the recording, I almost put on my, technically it's just a number 2 Ohio State jersey. But it's from the Terrell Pryor era, which is why I'm an Ohio State fan. And, Ohio State looked good. Penn State looked terrible.
They didn't look terrible. They didn't look good, but they didn't look terrible. They still won.
No, they were scary. They figured it out late.
Scary. Yeah.
They figured it out late.
I think they just slept walk into the game. Drew Allers.
I need a new chair so
decent,
bad.
but the defense was struggling. Maybe they still scored 35 points or whatever they did. And, the offense looked good. Nick Singleton's a beast. You can set your clocks by him having one long run for a touchdown a game. He just has burst, which is so fun to watch.
Yeah, how about NIU?
NIU, that was awesome.
NIU beating Notre Dame. Notre Dame, more like Notre Dame. They suck.
I was just gonna go Notre Lame.
Notre Lame.
But yeah, they. I'm not a Notre Dame hater. I know there's Notre Dame haters out there. It does.
I'm indifferent on them.
Yeah,
don't love
it does
hate them.
annoy me that they're just like, oh, we're gonna be independent, which is gonna hurt them in the long run, especially with the 12-team playoff where they can't get a bye. But that was awesome to watch. Their coach crying after the game was awesome.
NIU's coach.
Yeah. Just being
it was funny because it was the exact opposite of what remind me of Michigan's head coach is like Sherron Moore or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
they don't matter. Michigan, listen, if you're a Michigan fan, watch this. Your team doesn't matter, so I don't care who your coach is. I don't care about. Actually, he's not even your coach because he's not under contract. Were you aware of that?
Which is crazy. Yeah, I saw that this week.
Under contract.
Insane.
He's just coaching the team.
He's coaching for free. Which
there's no way he's going to get the job then, right?
No,
because they suck.
I think they just have him as their scapegoat, I guess. But when more stuff gets laid on them, they're just gonna be like, all right, yeah, we're gonna fire our coach.
Is there another Harbaugh laying around that they can pick up?
Yeah. Yeah, there is actually another one, but he coaches the Ravens.
I meant another one. That would be so funny. The Ravens just have a horrible year, and then Sharon Moore, by the way. Ravens have a horrible year, and they just get that Harbaugh.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But yeah, that was really fun to watch. Again, another team that I don't hate is Texas. I know people dislike Texas. I love
Texas.
I love a good horns down. Horns down is so much fun.
It hits.
It hits so hard.
But you know what? Horns up hits too.
Yeah.
Horns up.
And I like Quinn Ewers. But they looked so good.
Quinn Ewers, Ohio State legend. They did look good. They look really, really good.
They looked really good. They're going to be scary.
I'll say this. Quinn Ewers, I don't know if this is a hot take, best quarterback in the country.
Yeah,
college quarterback.
He's up there for sure.
People tell you it's Carson Beck. It's Shador.
I'll tell you who it's not. It's not Shador.
It's not Shador.
He gave up.
And I'm a Shador guy. I'm a Dion guy. But I'm also, if they're not good, I'm going to say that. And Shador, I still think he's good. But he was not good the other night.
Yeah.
He's not the best quarterback
Nebraska's
in the country.
Good. They have that strong Big Ten defense. They brought Dylan Ryle in. They looked good. They were fun to watch for the first time.
I feel bad for Shador a little bit because I feel like, and maybe this wouldn't be the case anyway, but I feel like if his dad wasn't the coach, he would have transferred to a school that has an actual chance to win a title with him.
Yeah.
I think to be a little biased, if Ohio State landed him instead of Will Howard. Now Will Howard's playing great ball, but that would have been electric. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he would have been very good there, I'm sure, because he's a good player.
A decent offensive line with. I mean, they have good receivers, but their defense is bad. And
there are big schools that would have taken him, and they have way better rosters. Colorado has two good players, him and Travis Hunter, and they're both fantastic.
Great players.
But that team is not good. They're not it. Which sucks, because I wanted Dion to come in there and just dunk on everybody, win every game, be awesome.
Yeah,
and
I like Dion.
That just hasn't been the case.
Fun. I did see this thing. It could be just as fake as the Taylor Swift document, but I saw a thing that said that Dion told the band that they can't play the Colorado fight song if Shador scores because his song's going to play over the loudspeakers instead. So I don't know how
equally sounds as fake and real because it's very believable, but also sounds like if you were like, what do I want to make up about Colorado? That would be it.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Yeah. But
I saw the video of Nebraska all celebrating to Shador's song in the locker room.
That's awesome.
That's tough.
That's a tough watch up.
Yeah.
Again, another great. I don't like it as a celebration. For Shador, I think it's kind of tacky and lame when he does it. Oh, look at my watch.
I kind of like it, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I like the idea of I love how flashy and cocky and stuff they are. It's fun. Unless you're their rival, then it's annoying.
Yeah.
I think it's better. It's good for the sport, but it would be better if they were good.
Yeah, I thought it would be better if he had a chain on and showed his chain instead of the watch. But I do love when other teams throw up the watch celebration.
Yeah, if you're gonna have something like that, it's anything you say or do can be used against you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Did you watch Arkansas and Oklahoma State at all?
No. So I was working on Saturday, so I got kind of lost in all of that. And
wait, I thought we were both quitting to do this full time.
Yeah, if someone
I've been
wants
over
to
here
give us money,
on my own this whole time. I wish.
If we hit a massive parlay, then we could.
Massive. It would have to be very big.
It'd have to be massive.
That would be lit.
But
maybe I'll do it tonight.
I was keeping tabs on it. Also, the Iowa State game was electric.
That was a good game.
Yeah, just I moved the line on that one $60 and was able to get the under at a higher value. and Iowa at +3. And won like $50 on it.
Nice.
So that was fun. Did you? I know I texted you about it. Did you happen to see the end of the Pitt game?
No.
So it was like a minute left in the third, and they were down. I want to say 27-6. And they scored a touchdown to make it a 13-point game, and then or 14-point game, and then held. I don't even know who they were playing. Held them scoreless for the rest of the game, and came back to win on like a last-second touchdown or field goal to win it by 28-27. It was awesome.
Electric.
Yeah, I had them in an all dogs, and somebody else choked it for me. So, it was hard to see, but also electric to see them. I'm not a Pitt fan. I know I'm wearing a Steelers jersey, but I like Penn State. I'm on that side of the.
Well, they steal your stadium every Saturday.
Yeah, and then
you're not gonna be a fan. If someone walks into your house and is like, "I live here now," you're gonna be a fan of that person.
And also, like Kenny Pickett. Can't. It makes me dislike them even more.
Yeah, you were on the Kenny train though.
I was too.
I was too. I was like, give him time. You know, he can develop.
Yeah.
I was duped.
Yeah, me too.
I was duped. Although I was duped after the fact. I wouldn't have picked him in round 1.
No.
But it was a low class. Like, people didn't have high grades in that class, so he was kind of a victim of being picked higher than he should have. He never should have been. In a normal class, he'd have been second round pick at best.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's all I really have for college football. I
don't have a ton either, other than good. Tennessee looked awesome. Oregon awesome. Does not look good at all.
Awesome. Michigan's dead.
Michigan is so bad, and I love it.
So bad.
And I called it. I said, and I was almost right. Close enough that I'm going to say I was. Because I said they were going to lose by 20 plus. They lost by 19, and they scored a garbage time touchdown.
Yeah.
I even bet on it. I put my money where my mouth is. Granted, it was parlay, so even if they had lost by 20, I still would have lost. But I took an alternate spread on Texas, minus 19.5 at plus 370, and Texas murdered them, and it was beautiful.
It was awesome. It was
awesome.
They have a good team.
Now I just feel like everyone's going to beat them. I can't wait till they play Ohio State. I can't wait till they play pretty much every. Like, I might watch their games.
Yeah, their Big
over
Ten
anything
schedule,
else every weekend.
I don't know what their Big Ten schedule looks like. I can pull it up, but I know they don't play Penn State this year, which is lucky for them.
That's a shame. I was just about to ask you guys because I actually think, I think you guys would beat them.
Yeah,
they are bad.
It would be.
They're not cheating. Awful. They can't cheat anymore because everyone's watching them. They're under a microscope, and they lost Harbaugh.
Yeah,
and
lucky
now
for them, they have
the
Arkansas
secret sauce
State.
is gone. They suck.
They have Arkansas State this week. Who is 2-0? But
Arkansas State.
Yeah.
I don't know. Arkansas State got off to an early 24-0 lead on me in college football 25 the other day. I came back and beat them. For the OG listeners, I'm getting better. I'm a one-play merchant. But I'm putting up numbers with that one play. Yeah, so I'm making it work.
So they have USC on the schedule for week 4, which we'll see what happens. They have a good
USC's going to cook them.
Then they have Minnesota,
Miller Moss is going to pick them apart.
Yeah. Then they have Minnesota, who knows?
They'll probably beat Minnesota.
At Washington, they have to travel out there, which I don't know how good Washington. I haven't really paid attention to them that much. But then at Illinois, who looked, I don't know what they look like.
They're the ones that got all the JMU guys, right?
Yeah, they beat Kansas this week. Who you were high on earlier.
Yeah. I was.
So, but that's still a ranked team that they were able to beat. Mm-hmm. And you have to go to Illinois. Michigan State, Oregon, which Oregon's playing bad, but then maybe they'll get it together to play them. And then, obviously, Indiana, Northwestern, then Ohio State, the last game of the season. So we're looking at like a 3 or 4 loss Michigan team. I don't see
them in the playoffs.
Yeah, as soon as they're not allowed to cheat, they're
bad.
They're bad.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
There would have been no way of knowing that.
No,
they suck.
But yeah, who
on to
Ohio State play this. Do they have a game this week?
I know this because, as you guys know, I'm a big Ohio State fan, so I kind of like to keep track of their schedule. I don't know if this is something that most fans do. And I really just kind of memorize it in my head. I take time when it comes out and I think like, okay, let's get this in order. Like, let's make sure we know what we're looking at here. That way, let's say you're doing, maybe it's a podcast or you're just talking with the boys or whatever. And then if they ask you like, oh, who does Ohio State play this week? And you're thinking, okay, well, it was just week 2, which means now it's week 3. So we're playing Marshall, in Columbus. So I like to just memorize those things as a big fan.
They play Marshall week 4. They do not have a game week
3. In my defense, the schedule that I mentally memorized didn't list a bye week. It just lists the next game.
Okay.
So I was like LeBron right there, like National Tight Ends Day. We got my boy George Kittle. Shout out to Kyle Pitts, my guy, Mark Andrews.
Yeah, he's just reading off
Dawson Knox.
On the
Dawson Knox was a crazy pull from him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and I'm not looking at the players, by the way. Turned his computer around. He's like, I'm looking at the schedule. Like, sure, dude. You definitely didn't just close the tab with the tight ends on it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, do we want to get into some NFL recap and maybe some preview for the next week?
I would love to. Let's jump into our games real quick. Just knock them out.
Yeah, if you want to go first.
Bills started slow.
Mm-hmm. Classic Bills on week 1. I feel like
for sure.
Whether they win or lose, they come out a little slow.
Even specifically, like the first quarter was more so a testament to the Cardinals even than it was the Bills being slow, because the Cardinals start with the ball. They had like a 7.5 minute drive. Great drive. They go down, score. Bills defense looks suspect, which I expected. The Bills get the ball, get into Cardinals territory. O-line sucks. Josh doesn't see the guy coming. Strip sack.
Yeah.
Can't have it, but it happens. And Cardinals get the ball back and eat up another 3 or 4 minutes. So now there's barely any time left in the first. Bills get the ball back. Drive all the way down. At this point, Josh Allen still hasn't missed a throw. He's 100% completion. Glazing. And we get all the way to the red zone. Illegal hands to the face on the offense on a touchdown.
Yeah.
And if I could be mixing up my drives here. We did have an illegal hands to the face in the red zone though. And so the first quarter was just weird. A lot of stalling out. But they picked it up. Josh was awesome. He finished with 4 touchdowns. And I think he had like 230 passing and another 232 passing and 9 carries for 39 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. So 4 total and a hurdle. Shakir looked good. Coleman actually looked great. He had 4 for 51, but he had a couple that he could have had a lot, like big plays where they held him and they like threw the flag. I'm not just saying like that was holding and I'm being a bias. Like they threw the flag, but unfortunately he couldn't get the catch because of it.
Yeah.
So
I know
overall,
he did have one deep catch that was awesome.
That was a nice grab. A lot of people being like, when Xavier Worthy had that run, like Keon Coleman could never do that. Why'd they let the Chiefs get him? It's like, you're right. Keon Coleman could never do that, but Xavier Worthy could never do that catch that Keon had.
Yeah.
So it's all about fit, what you're looking for. But yeah, that's the summary of the Bills game. They win 34-28. And I was pretty happy with it. I expected the Cardinals would cover, but we would win.
Yeah. That's a good big win. Now going to the Steelers game, we're both 1-0 as a podcast.
Imagine not being 1-0.
Clap it up for us. First place in the division for the Steelers. Seeing all the other teams lose is always fun. Granted, the Ravens did play a superior opponent, and the Cowboys aren't bad.
You could argue that.
They're pretty good. Yeah. Do you think the Chiefs or the Falcons are better? But
We don't know
a lot
yet.
of field goals. Shout out to Chris Boswell. 6 field goals, 6 for 6. I think he had 3 over 50 yards, which is awesome.
Wasn't he like a yard shy of the record for most kicking yards?
Yeah, so he needed
That's
like
just
a little bit more, which is crazy. He also had a punt because Cameron Johnston went down. He got ran into, but it ended up being called a holding. So he on the guy blocking, so that sucks. So we had to repunt, and Chris Boswell had to go out there and punt. But overall, I haven't had that much fun watching a Steelers game in a while. What?
We have breaking news.
Okay.
And it's awful.
Oh, no.
You might want to sit down for this.
I'm sitting down.
There was a national anthem we discussed recently
Oh, yeah.
that we both agreed was electric.
Oh, no.
James Earl Jones has passed away.
Moment of silence for James Earl Jones.
That really does suck.
It does. Can we put
insane.
that clip in
It's
this
crazy.
episode? I know another show did it. Can we do his national anthem?
I don't know if we can, just if we're even allowed to.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Not a YouTube expert yet. But if you haven't ever heard James Earl Jones' national anthem, it is electricity. Incredible. It's from the 93 All-Star game in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That is crazy.
That is hard.
I just got the text from Max because I was showing him the national anthem a couple days ago. He just texted me with the screenshot of that he passed away.
Yeah, that is very sad. I don't
Oh,
know
man.
how consider
that sucks. What an absolute vibe killer.
I don't know how I can even talk about the Steelers game anymore. But I'm going to power through as a good podcaster. I'm going to power through.
Bro, Mufasa, though?
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard.
Hopefully, a message from the clouds tonight.
Yeah.
To remember who you know what? In his honor, I'm going to hit a bet tonight.
There we go.
I'm going to remember who you are.
I wish the Lions were playing tonight.
Oh, I would have to bet on them. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, no, in his honor, I will be remembering who I am and hitting a parlay. I'm a hitter of parlays. I will remember that, and I will hit a parlay for James Earl Jones tonight.
Yeah.
Also, if it seems like I am sad, but we're a little light on it. Like, he was 93.
Yeah.
That's an awesome life. He lived a super long life, and he was the man, just all around. I don't know that much about him personally, but just great roles, all-time voice. So
he spoke the national anthem.
He spoke.
How many people can get away with speaking the national anthem?
One, James Earl Jones.
Yeah. So, great life. Sad, but that's just life, you know.
Yep.
But I'm gonna dive back into this Steelers game because
hard pivot.
We're here to talk.
You got to power through, Caleb.
Talk sports.
Get us back. Bring us back.
They were saying that this was the most fun I've had watching a Steelers game in a while. Not only Justin Fields didn't throw the ball great. He didn't throw the ball bad. He was 17 of 23 for 156 yards with a 92 QBR, which is not awful. He took care of the ball. He had a fumbled snap. He was under center, and the snap was a little messed up, but he jumped on it and gained 2 yards, which is awesome. He had one more passing yard than Kirk Cousins. So that counts for something.
I didn't get to watch a lot of this game, but from what I understand, Kirk did not look good.
Yeah, so no touchdowns, but also no interceptions. So taking care of the ball is really awesome.
Love that.
He's so fun to watch. He also had 50-some rushing yards, which is always fun to see. Najee Harris outran Bijan. I know that's a credit to the Steelers defense. But the Falcons defense is pretty good too. So I'm not too beat up about it. For the first time in so long, the Steelers controlled the clock. They had 10 minutes more of possession than the Falcons.
I like your point about the Falcons' defense because I think a lot of people would brush this as, oh, typical bad Steelers offense.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Who knows? But we did both talk about before week 1 that we thought Atlanta was going to have a good defense this year. So it is possible that the Steelers' offense isn't that bad and Atlanta's defense is really good.
Yeah. Well, they had some big chunk plays. I think Najee ran for about 20 yards one play, which never happened last year. So the offensive line is getting a little better. And then George Pickens had 2 just massive catches. One at the end of the half where he tried to cut back in when there's only 4 seconds left on the clock. We had a timeout, but for him to not realize he was trying to score, which would have been awesome. Maybe he didn't realize we had a timeout or what, or how much time was left. But his toe ended up going out of bounds. So it was a fun game. T.J. Watt is an absolute menace. Defense had 2 sacks. T.J. Watt had a strip sack, or he had a fumble recovery. He had a play where he jumped the snap so perfectly that they called an offsides on him. That he was moving as soon as the ball was moving, and had a strip sack and recovered the fumble. And the referee threw the flag to the point where the referee apologized to him, saying, "Yeah, I messed up." But I also saw, I think it was, I don't know what game it was in, maybe the Seahawks game, where there was a illegal man downfield, an eligible receiver downfield, so it was an offensive lineman, and they reviewed it in the booth, like, instantly, and they were like, no, he wasn't downfield, and they reversed it. So why can't they do that with the T.J. Watt play?
Just because they have stupid rules.
Yeah,
like the answer to that question is because they can't.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Because they're not allowed to.
Yeah. So T.J. Watt,
which is crazy.
And then there was another. T.J. Watt could have had 3 sacks. There was another play that was illegal hands to the face. So it's kind of hard to debate that one. It wasn't T.J. Watt. It was a DB. But he was just all over the backfield last night or yesterday afternoon, and he is a menace. And I think he's going to try for another defensive player of the year. They'll probably find a way. Yeah. They're going to find a way to take it from him, but
as usual,
he's a beast, and I love.
I have him in a future for defense player of the year, but hopefully I have Stroud for MVP in that one. I had a few different futures, and they were alternating between Stroud MVP and Jordan Love MVP.
Okay.
I was looking for the value, and I felt like those were good value picks.
Yeah.
And Jordan Love at this point sucks because, he's hurt, so it's going to be hard to make that happen. Also, it sucks that we didn't get to do a Yelling at Sports last week because now we'll never know if I was going to predict the Packers to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, never know.
We'll never know. We'll never know if I was really, really wrong. Honestly, no, I might stick with it. I got to know how long he's out. I haven't heard a definitive number yet.
I saw like 3 to 4 weeks maybe, but that's not definitive.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say I will reconvene after he comes back.
Yeah. Because if it's
I don't know how they're going to do with Malik Willis.
Malik Willis could, let's just say that Sean Clifford should stay warmed up.
Stay ready.
Even if I don't even know if he's still on the team.
I saw some people suggesting they could bring in Ryan Tannehill for a few weeks, which would be good for them, and also would suck for Malik Willis because he'd just be backing up Ryan Tannehill again.
Yeah, there is one name that I think we haven't discussed. Colin Kaepernick needs a job.
Yes. Hit him up, Green Bay. And the people of Green Bay would love him.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would love him out there.
I'm sure they would.
They seem like the type that really, really embrace him a lot, so would love to see it.
So I also wanted to talk about the Texans and Colts. We don't really have notes. I just put a couple notes down, so we're not going to go game by game. If we miss your game, we apologize. We're not.
Yeah, because we got to get into next week's games too.
Yeah. Texans and Colts was thrilling.
AR-15, 5, whatever you want to call him. Yeah. He's so electric.
He's so fun. His deep ball,
but
I know he wasn't
so
he's
hot
so
and
up
cold.
And down. Yeah.
His stat line is crazy.
Yeah, his deep ball is beautiful if he gets it.
9 for 19. Awful. 212 yards. Not decent. Bad. 2 touchdowns. Awesome. Good. He did have a pick, but then you go into rushing too. 6 for 56 and a touchdown. That's awesome. So he had 3 total touchdowns, total of a bunch of yards, but he also only completed 9 out of 19. Yeah. So if there's one thing he is, it's definitely fun. But you also have to think he's putting up these numbers having not really played a ton of football.
Yeah.
So I think the potential is there. Like I see the vision. I can see where it makes sense.
Yeah. And that one interception could have changed the entire game. They lost by 2 points.
Yeah.
So again, a lot of fun. And I had Red Zone on next to me because I had the Steelers game on the regular TV. And was just like every time somebody was scoring in that game. And they came back. They were down a decent amount. Like 2 scores, I want to say, potentially.
Sounds right.
It was. And it was like a little bit back and forth at the beginning, and then, it was just fun. I like both of those teams. I like Stroud. I like Anthony Richardson. Stephon Diggs scored twice. I know I wasn't as high on him as you were. I was not low on him, but he started off.
Well, I was like, the guy's not going to forget how to play football.
Yeah.
I think so. He only had 33 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking big picture. I think the coaching staff was like, look, what if we just let him have all the touchdowns so he thinks he's carrying the load?
Yeah.
And we'll let Nico get all the yards. That way Diggs is happy and Nico's happy.
Also, somebody else that I wasn't super high on this year was Joe Mixon. And
me either. There's never been a single year in fantasy that I've been high on Joe Mixon, and I've been wrong a lot of times.
He had he had 159 rushing.
Hit 30 carries, though. Who would have predicted that?
Not me.
In an offense that has undoubtedly the deepest wide receiver room in the league.
Arguably a top 3 quarterback.
Yeah.
Based off last year.
They've run the ball 30 times. That's crazy.
They barely ran the ball last year. So, what made them decide,
Mixon, I guess? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. I can't assume that will keep happening, but I wouldn't have guessed it would happen once. Yeah. So maybe it will.
Yeah. Another.
But, Diggs, sorry, before we move on. Diggs had an insane quote today.
Today?
He said, today.
Okay.
Well, as we're recording this.
Yeah.
No, insane quote on Monday. He said, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have the exact quote pulled up in front of me. Something along the lines of, it's just nice to be trusted in big moments. Bro.
He's always been trusted in big
moments. First of all, it's week 1. Your whole complaint with the Bills was that they used you in the first half of the season and then stopped using you in the second half. So you were trusted in week 1. Like, I was there in 2 seasons ago, our home opener, he had 3 touchdowns. Like, he was getting fed the rock. Yeah. Second, he literally dropped a dime to put us in the red zone. He might have even scored because the DB was already diving. So if he sheds the shoelace tackle, he's going to score the go-ahead touchdown with 2 minutes left in the divisional round last year. Hit him right in the hands. He dropped it.
Yeah.
That's coming from someone who has supported Diggs the whole time he was in Buffalo. And to an extent now, I'm a little upset with him, so it's a little different. But, I still stood on the table no, he's still a really good player. Just because he left the Bills doesn't mean he's not good anymore.
Yeah.
But that was a crazy thing to say. You were definitely trusted in big moments. Yeah. And you disappeared. You disappeared in some big moments. You couldn't get open against the Chiefs in some of the biggest games. And then you do get open, and you drop it.
Yeah. Going all the way back.
But also don't clip that, because I don't want to argue with him on Twitter.
Going back. I might tag you in it.
Well, okay, we'll keep this part in. I still like Stephon Diggs, Maryland guy, really good football player. But I just thought that quote was crazy.
Yeah. Going back all the way back to the Vikings with the Minneapolis Miracle. He's been trusted as that guy.
Trusted in a big moment there, too. That's a good point. That's not even a Bills thing. That's just he's definitely been trusted in big moments for sure.
So I'm just going through the score app, just in order of where they have the games. Vikings, Giants. The Giants are bad. Sam Darnold looked good.
Yeah.
Daniel
Jones
did,
but it's
awful.
The classic case of, is that quarterback good or did he just play the Giants?
Yeah.
We'll find out next week. I don't know who they play next week yet. I don't have that pulled up yet. But
the Vikings.
yeah, Daniel Jones is so bad. Like
The Vikings play the Niners next week.
really, really bad.
So that could be dangerous.
Okay, so we will find out.
Yeah.
We'll definitely find out.
Jags and Dolphins. Tyreek Hill getting arrested before they are detained before the game.
That was crazy.
Scotty Scheffler game.
That was crazy.
The 80-yard.
I have a hard time. Yeah, I have a hard time viewing Tyreek Hill as a victim because he's a horrible, awful, scumbag, terrible human being. But at the same time, like that's not up to those cops to decide if he's a horrible human being. You know what I mean? Like, and all of a sudden they're just throwing him on the ground for a traffic violation. But I also don't know what he was doing. Like, I don't know. He might have been putting a lot of people in danger and then not cooperating. I tend to side with him there, just because, like, I can't imagine what he did was bad, but, like, in that moment, did he need to be thrown on the ground? I don't know. We don't have to get into all that. But just in general, I do have a hard time seeing Tyreek Hill as a victim because he's a horrible human being.
Yeah, bad.
But Miami
cool story. People just, like you said, Scotty Scheffler, now Tyreek. It was the anti-Scotty Scheffler in that Scotty was the most shocking thing ever.
Yeah.
And Tyreek was like, yeah, that makes sense.
I believe it.
Like
when you sent the picture or the tweet or whatever I don't know if it was you or Jimmy, to the group chat, and I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. What did you do this time?
Yeah, like, I was more shocked that it was real just because it felt like something a media aggregator would make up.
Yeah.
But I wasn't shocked that Tyreek Hill did that.
Yeah.
Like that it happened to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Who would be, in your mind, the Scotty Scheffler of the NFL in the sense, not in their dominance or whatever, but like if you found out that on game day morning they got arrested?
I think
it would be as shocking as Scotty Scheffler.
Probably like Josh Allen, Joe Burrow.
I think both of them have a little, like, they could get arrested for something stupid.
Yeah.
Like, something like...
Maybe it's TJ Watt.
I don't even know. I think it's Russell Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Joe Burrow and Josh Allen are goofy, so they could do something that they thought was funny that accidentally got them in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I think Russell Wilson is... If I wake up this next Sunday and it says Russell Wilson arrested on the way to the stadium, I will be appalled.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocked.
Hey, maybe he woke up feeling dangerous.
That's true. Yeah, if he wakes up feeling dangerous, that could be a whole different different factor. Daniel Jones would be pretty shocking too.
Yeah. Daniel Jones would kind of just be funny too.
It would be hilarious. He should be arrested.
Yeah,
they would parade in the city if Daniel Jones got arrested before the game started. They'd be barricading the jail, like, do not let him out. Don't let him out.
Drew Lock. It's going to be Drew Lock season as soon as he's healthy.
Drew Lock season. MVP season.
Unless they're just trying to not win so they can get Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, whoever's. Yeah. But, yeah, the Jags only threw the ball, like, twice after halftime or something like that. Like, it was... I don't know what they were doing. Like, they weren't up. They were playing.
And they went for it on their own 32 in the fourth quarter.
And it looked like until that point, it looked like they weren't playing to win. They were playing not to lose, just running the ball, trying to run out clock. And that's just never smart. So I don't know what Doug Peterson's thinking. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is banged up.
He flipped to the play to win mode in the worst possible scenario.
Yeah.
You should play to win, but also you probably shouldn't go for it on fourth down at your own 32 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So
the next game I have up is Patriots-Bengals, which is, I think this is for both of us. This is best case scenario with this game because the Patriots aren't going to be good the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm not worried about what this means for the Patriots the rest of the season.
But the Bengals, I think, will be able to turn it around. They usually start slow. But for them to start off with a loss to the Patriots will play a role down the road for Steelers and Bills getting playoff positioning.
True. That's a good point. It does screw my survivor pool.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
First ever survivor pool. I lose in week 1. Already paid $20 to get back into a revival one that it's like starts from week 2.
It's awesome. I had Mike Gesicki for a touchdown. I was all in on that it was my favorite thing. And what looked like had one, but he bobbled it when he was going to the ground and just ripped my heart out of my chest.
That cost me about $300.
Yeah.
I don't know if I forgot to detail that or not, but yeah. I also had
Luke did not bet $300 on that.
No. It cost me like a $300 payout.
Yeah.
But I had a $10 bet on Mac Hollins anytime. He scored. He was plus 600 or 800 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was 800. And I had Gesicki as well. And then Dylan Luby, whatever, from the Raiders. He didn't. This parlay was going to pay out like $4,000 or something. And then Luby got hurt. Or didn't get hurt. He just was a healthy scratch. Listen, I scrape the barrel for these touchdown scores sometimes. A healthy scratch, voided. Yeah. But that made my payout go down to $294. And if Gesicki would have held on, I would have hit.
Yep.
Sad to see.
About that. A couple of games we've already covered. And then
Titans-Bears.
I didn't really watch a whole lot of this game because it was happening as the Steelers game was going on.
The Bears.
I think we got a generational meme out of this one.
Yes, the Will Levis.
Will Levis on his knees. I'll put it in. I'll put it in right here.
Awesome.
So funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
He
didn't look great. I know we're both high on Will Levis this year.
Tony Pollard looked good.
How did he fly under the radar in fantasy?
Man, I don't know.
Should have seen that coming.
I don't know.
High pick last year, going to a team that traditionally runs the ball well. Granted, new coaching staff.
Yeah.
But even in a passing offense, because they did bring in some weapons, like Pollard can catch the ball out of the backfield. I don't know how well he did yesterday, but in general, he can.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't have flown under the radar in fantasy, but he was picked later, generally speaking, in most drafts.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. I'm going to make an outlandish statement. I still think Will Levis is going to be a franchise QB for the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, it's the second year he didn't get a lot of start. Like, he didn't play the whole season last year.
Yeah, and he played against a really good defense yesterday. Yeah. Like, he's got to work out some kinks. He's a gunslinger. He's like dog mentality. Mm-hmm. When you put someone with that kind of play style and they're so young and inexperienced against a defense as good as Chicago's, it's not unlikely you're going to have that kind of result.
Yeah. Caleb Williams didn't look great, but a win's a win.
A win is a win. No offensive touchdowns.
Same with the Steelers. I've always said that I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty.
And when you said it the other day, you accidentally said I would rather lose ugly than win pretty.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, he couldn't really get the ball to the receivers. He was
14 for 29. But that's just, getting your first snaps in a regular season game. Like, it's different than the preseason. But their defense. Did you hear the call when they said they called what's his name, Mr. Biles, when he got the
for
the Bears?
That's funny.
He scored a touchdown off the blocked punt. And they called him Mr. Biles.
Simone Biles' husband.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah.
Jonathan Owens.
Yeah, they either called him Jonathan Biles or Mr. Biles.
That's funny.
Either way, it was really funny. Panthers Saints. Panthers are still bad. The Panthers are.
And that's your Panthers Saints coverage.
Yep, they're bad.
Panthers are still really, really bad. Browns smoked.
Browns
got absolutely smoked.
So bad. Deshaun Watson.
They're so bad. He is terrible.
That's the worst contract of all time.
It's bad.
It's so bad.
It's really, really bad. But I have a conspiracy theory I wanted to bring up.
Oh, I have something else.
I'm glad you brought up Deshaun Watson's contract. Today, news broke.
Oh, this is exactly what I was about to say.
Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson has been sued again. The latest case arising from an alleged incident in October 2020 accuses him of sexual assault and battery while on a date.
Yep.
Now,
awful person.
I will preface, I'm more so joking here about the conspiracy theory. It's serious serious matter that probably, is a legitimate claim at least. But if you put your tinfoil hat on, did the Browns make up? Are they in on this in some way so that they can void his contract? If he gets suspended for this, they can void his guaranteed money.
Wow, that would be crazy.
Bare minimum, again, really joking about the conspiracy part, they have to be sitting there like, please get suspended.
Yeah.
Like, please. They are probably calling Roger Goodell, like, their owner's probably like, first of all, you're looking great, Raj. Have you been losing weight? We should go grab dinner, and start putting the bug in his ear about suspending Deshaun Watson, because they will save so much money.
Mm-hmm. And
you have to wonder, that makes me wonder, they reworked his contract and moved more money. I don't know how it
I think it was
works.
To like next year?
Yeah, I think his cap hit became even more and more the next couple years. Maybe they knew this was coming, and they're like, if we can pay him less this year, we can push that money back and then void it when he gets suspended.
It'd be smart.
Maybe they were playing chess.
Do I believe the Browns organization is that smart? They signed him in the first place, so I can't. I can't.
They might be. Probably not for the entire conspiracy, but maybe if they got word that this was coming down, that's possible.
Yeah.
That they were like, let's move some of this money so we can save even more if he gets suspended.
Yeah.
So either way, Deshaun Watson, certified, boom.
Yeah. Also, the Cowboys looked good.
Really good.
Dak got all that money this on Sunday morning, and then
$60 million a year. Yeah, he was awesome. Zeke was solid.
It's crazy that he got paid that much money, and then another guy that got paid a lot of money played so bad in the same game, and he played really well in the same game.
Yeah,
awesome.
It was really bad. Someone pointed out like that was great timing on their part, because then you could be like, oh, I can't believe they paid Dak so much money, but then you're literally watching someone who has the worst contract ever and is so bad at football.
Yeah, Dak wasn't like completely lights out, but he just looked so good compared.
Yeah, his numbers don't jump off the stat sheet, but he was good.
Yeah,
he had a good game. Oh, I forgot to mention this about Tyreek. Is it true? Because I only heard it on Pardon My Take. I didn't fact check this. He told the cops that he wants to be a cop.
I have no idea if
when
that's true.
When
but
he
I did
retires,
hear that.
he wants to be a cop. Imagine Tyreek Hill. Like, imagine you try to run from the police, and then they just Tyreek Hill's basically just like their drug dog. They just stick Tyreek on you. They're like, get him. You're not outrunning Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
crazy thing to say for someone with his history.
Yeah. Back to Cowboys. The first run of the game, Zeke just hurdled somebody?
I didn't see that.
It was awesome. It was sick. Like, I'm not.
That rocks. I bet on him to have 50 yards and a touchdown. I think he came up a little shy on the yards.
40.
Even though he was on a great pace at halftime. But he did score.
Yeah, he had 40. But yeah, it was a fun game to watch,
especially as a Steelers fan.
I'm
seeing
sure.
Yet another divisional opponent fall. And how bad. Like, it scares me. I need them to not realize that Jameis Winston is on the bench. And them to just keep throwing out Deshaun Watson, because he's really bad.
Yeah. Jameis legitimately would be better.
Yeah. Yeah. Big Jameis.
You want to do a quick roundup of next week's games? Maybe like our favorite picks or something?
Yeah.
And wrap it up, because we're already, as predicted, we can yap about
we're at
ball.
minutes.
We're already we're already cooking. So, and we haven't even made it to next week's games yet.
Yeah.
So we can
do Steelers
play the Broncos. So if Russ comes back, a little revenge game action in Denver. But it's also their road favorite, so that's like a Mike Tomlin. Like, who knows what's going to happen? Well, he's not great as a favorite on the road. Bills Dolphins Thursday night. I didn't realize that.
Thursday night, right back at it. No Taron Johnson. Not good.
No, but it's nice that it's in Miami at night, not a day game where they can put the opposing team in the sun.
Yes, that is very nice.
Was it last year?
The weather is probably going to be so nice.
I don't know. Was it last year or the year before where the Bills were just like overheating? Because
it was a couple years ago.
Okay.
I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was literally, I think the thermometer thing, the big giant thermometers they do,
Yeah.
it was like 90 on the Dolphins sideline, which is still really hot.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was 120 on the Bills.
Yeah.
So a 30-degree difference.
Yeah.
Because of their stadium is designed to shade their sideline and not the Bills sideline, or not the visitor sideline, I should say.
This could be another big week
For me as a Steelers fan.
not necessarily with the Ravens, because the Ravens play the Raiders. They should smoke them, especially being at home against the Raiders team that's not that great.
But
the Jags play the Browns in Jacksonville, which I should try to.
Yeah, Browns could catch another L there.
I should try to go to that game.
That would be fun.
The Chiefs play the Bengals at Arrowhead. So, having two 0-2 teams, if the Steelers can pull out and beat the Broncos, would be nice.
That would be electric.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, speaking of the Bills, we talked about mentioning our favorite picks. This is going to be Boy Who Cried Wolf, because I'm always glazing Josh Allen. But if you're a fan, I don't know, whoever's watching, whoever you're a fan of, if you have a franchise quarterback, he probably has one team in the division that he, for whatever reason, specifically torches them. Like, did Ben have one when you guys had Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it was the Browns.
Probably Cleveland.
Yeah. He had more wins, like, in his career. He had more wins in Cleveland than the Browns did.
Than they did.
Like, not even against Pittsburgh. I think than the Browns did.
Yeah.
That's how good
bad.
he was.
But another example would be Mahomes always tears up the Raiders, to my knowledge. Like, even more so, like Mahomes tears up everybody, but even more so, Mahomes, more so than others, really, really lays into the Raiders. For Josh Allen, it is the Dolphins. Yeah. And we did warn you that Yelling at Sports was not going to be a notes podcast, so I don't have the numbers pulled up. But I would encourage you, if you're looking for a player to maybe build a bet around, look into his numbers against the Dolphins, because they are truly absurd, like unreal. That's not to say we couldn't still maybe catch an L, but like it won't. I'd be very surprised if it's because of him. So do a little research.
Yeah,
research on that. But I am very scared about our DBs against Tyreek.
My favorite pick is probably going to be Washington playing the Giants.
Yeah. Like we should just, as a podcast, just bet against the Giants every week.
Yeah, that would be
every single week.
Probably win some money. I think that's my favorite, and then probably the Colts
at the Packers. They're 3.5-point favorites, and I want to root for the Packers, but I don't think Malik Willis has it.
Yeah, and Colts are 3.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about this? We'll each give our favorite and our favorite dog.
Okay.
So your favorite is Commanders?
Yeah, I'll do Commanders.
Commanders minus 3.5 on my end.
Great.
I don't know what you've got. 3.5. My favorite is going to be... I don't know about the spread. I was going to say the Chargers, but I don't love 6.5. But the Panthers are so bad.
Panthers are so bad.
My favorite is Chargers.
All right, do you want to go
only because I don't want to have the same one as you?
Do you want to take your favorite dog?
Because I have a favorite dog that is.
My favorite dog is my dog Stevie. He's a 2-year-old Jack Russell Pug mix, and
that's a good one.
Right now, he's my favorite dog, I would say.
Okay.
But no, my favorite dog for this week. I am tempted to get a little gross here because they didn't look good this past week. I think my favorite dog... Nope, I'm switching. I was going to say the Bears. My favorite dog is the Bucks over the Lions.
Okay.
Lions coming off the high of an emotional win. Bucks looked a little bit better than last year, and I thought they were good last year. I thought they were going to be horrible last year, but they were good. Breaking news. We need a breaking news sound. Breaking news 40. That's okay. Maybe I was thinking more of a jingle, not like
I feel like
you're reprimanding me about the news breaking. 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey, calf and Achilles, will be out tonight versus the Jets.
Whoa.
If you guys don't, I don't think we talked about it on here, but we've been saying, not to sound like we're victory lapping, because I like C-Mac. I don't want him to be hurt.
This is the first episode, so we never said it on here.
Well, I didn't. I meant like if we said it on Yelling at Pigeons at all. But we were saying all offseason, no one in the history of time, not football, in the history of time, has ever been more due for an injury than Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Injury prone, hasn't been hurt for a while, on the cover of Madden.
Yeah.
Perfect storm.
Yeah.
You hate to see it.
I did
kind of expect this.
In a fantasy league and I believe I took Tyreek Hill instead of Christian McCaffrey, and people were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I just don't trust him this year.
Scared of the injury. Yeah. Did that not come out of nowhere? I didn't even know he was hurt.
I didn't even know he was even questionable.
So everyone that has him in their lineup is now basically just screwed.
Yeah. Unless he can run into his backup. I might try to go. Who's the number 2 there? I might just try to block people from getting him.
Should be J.D. Mason. J.D. Mason. He probably was drafted.
Yeah.
Late. Jordan Mason.
My favorite dog. They're only 1-point dogs. But I love the Rams against the Cardinals.
I like it.
I think they're a better team. I think the Cardinals looked good this week, but I don't think the Rams looked awful. Like, they didn't look great.
No, I thought the Rams looked good. I thought they looked better than last year.
Yeah. I know we mentioned, was it Puka Nacua is hurt?
Yeah.
So that's scary. Shout out to us for going Cooper Kupp in our co-owned fantasy team.
Bro, we're sharps.
We're sharps.
Had no interest in McCaffrey, and we went really no interest in Puka because we won a cup.
Yeah, so
sharps.
The dogs just look gross this week. I think it's hard to pick any of them to win, like to even cover. But I think the Rams will win outright.
I like that. So your favorite's Commanders. Favorite dog is Rams. My favorite was the Chargers, and my favorite dog is the Bucks. Now, I think we should do. This is being introduced to Caleb live on the spot, so give him some slack if he's not prepared, even though I'm also not prepared. But we should do a Yelling at Touchdowns parlay.
Okay.
And we have to each pick one touchdown scorer that is no longer than plus 200.
Okay.
And one that's no shorter than plus 500. Like a gross, nasty, slimy, makes you want to throw up touchdown scorer.
Great.
And I will give you for... Okay. We're going to have a problem. We will put this out on the socials. Because the lines aren't up yet because we're recording so early.
I think only... Yeah, there's nothing out.
Or we could... How about this? It's the blind odds Yelling at Touchdowns.
Okay.
Player that, give me one that's more frequent and one that's a little bit more niche. You know what I mean?
Great.
I'm gonna give you, for a frequent scorer, I will take none other than J.K. Dobbins.
Okay.
I think he scores again.
Yeah.
So give me J.K. Dobbins. And for my slimy, scraping the barrel, gross pick, give me Luke McCaffrey.
Okay.
I don't hate it.
For my probably should happen. I don't know what if we're even going to call it.
We'll prepare for this next week.
We will prepare for this. I love the
It's
segment.
my fault
We're
for
also
springing it on
about to go longer than our regular episode this week.
Who would have thought?
I'm gonna go with Travis Kelce.
I
He
like
didn't
it.
score last week, but I think he'll get in the end zone.
Brother, did you see Taylor walking in? He scored last week.
Oh, he scored. And then I'm gonna go to the Giants Washington game as well, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Malik Neighbors.
Okay. I was worried you were going to pick a commander, and I was like,
No.
Caleb, can we revise that?
No.
Could
If I
do
was
that
going to
too.
pick one, I would have. I guess it would have got Jaden Daniels scored twice this week, so I couldn't have went with him. But Malik Neighbors.
I like it. Okay. So Yelling At Touchdowns, which, to be clear, has to have, we each have to pick one, quote unquote, slimy pick, disgusting pick that makes you want to vomit. We have Luke McCaffrey, J.K. Dobbins, Malik Neighbors, and what was your first one? Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Stamped. And that's going to cash.
Yeah.
And that is not advice and not a guarantee, and it probably won't cash.
At all. But if it does, and you win some money, you can thank us.
Yeah, you can thank us, and it's more about the friends you made along the way.
Yeah.
And
It also gives you a reason to watch the Giants Commanders game.
That's a good point.
It gives you a reason to tune into that game. It's not a game.
It gives you a reason to
should
know
ever
who Luke
watch.
McCaffrey is.
Yeah. Is he?
Hey, listen, we could have bet.
After week 1, he's the best McCaffrey
That's true.
in 2024.
He's leading McCaffrey's in playing.
Yeah.
He caught.
He did have a target on 2-point conversion,
Yeah.
which tells me that in goal line scenarios, if they want to pass the ball, he could be in the mix.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Lad McConkey's touchdown. That was so sick.
That was nasty.
He does the double juke and just walks into the end zone. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Rumors that he
rookies-
pooped himself on that play.
Interesting.
People are saying.
I thought it was just like the shadow in the edit, but
Me too.
um,
But people are saying.
Could be.
People are.
I think that's everything for this week.
About the same time, if not long. We'll see once we cut it and trim it, but about the same as this is supposed to be the short episode, and lo and behold, we can't shut up about football. If you listen to both all the way through,
Dude, thank you.
Soldier, free sticker. How about that?
Yeah,
You get a free sticker if you listen to both. You get a free sticker either way if you just simply want one. But
you just have to ask.
that's your reward.
We have
if you
compared to how many listeners we have a lot of stickers.
Way more stickers than listeners.
Which they sent Luke extra stickers, which is awesome.
Yeah, they sent me like 70% more than I ordered.
There you go.
Maybe a little less, but more, a lot more.
But if you want, you probably already listened to our other episodes, so I don't feel like we have to plug our socials in this.
Yeah, just come back next time.
Come back, yeah, just come back.
It will be more. We did say it would be a no notes. The sports one would be no notes. It's just guys talking ball. But we'll at least, for the touchdowns, we'll think of something so there's not so many uhs and hmms.
Yeah.
You know, we'll be a little bit more prepared.
But throw $5 on those touchdowns and don't go to.
But you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have
legally.
to,
you don't have to.
Yeah.
But it would be fun if you did it with us.
Yeah.
I will be betting on it.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll talk to you guys next time.
Yeah. Peace.
Yelling at pigeons. Nobody